We hate public transportation. Now, give it up for Claire Lichten!
Hi! Oh my goodness, it's so good to be here. Give it up one more time for Mary Wallen. This is a lot harder than it looks. Yeah, so many familiar faces out there tonight. I know some of you might have seen me perform before. I have been doing this for a couple years. And just like anything that you do for a couple years, you just start to notice kind of like trends and patterns. Like a lot of comedians, especially male comedians, will like to talk about like dating and dating apps and how hard it is to date as a man. I did write this morning before I saw anyone else perform, I swear. But there's like two things for comedians who like to talk about, like there'll be a lot of comedians who will talk about how bad like sex and dating they are. And if you want to get more sex and dates, might I recommend not going on stage and talking about how bad you are at sex and dating. Second, anytime my male friends come up to me and talk to me about a bad date they've had, it kind of falls on deaf ears because like, for a man, a bad date starts with a mouthy broad and ends with a toothy blowjob. But for me, a bad date starts with a sunset hike and ends with a candlelight vigil. So they're just not tomato. Speaking of people who haven't been on first dates in a while, my grandma's dead. Yeah, give it up if your grandma's dead. Show some fucking respect! Yeah, she was so sick. Not like sick, like cool sick. I mean, she was sick, now she's dead. But, yeah, she was so cool, she was so confident. Like one time we were in the car and she turns to me and she goes, "Now Claire, I was reading in TMZ that Jennifer Lopez has the world's best ass, but that can't be true because nobody came to look at mine." And I know that what she was trying to do was make a point about TMZ's subpar polling standards for asses, but what it came across to as me is that my grandma at 73, who, let's be honest, was aging a lot less like Helen Mirren and a lot more like Bill Murray, had a better ass than J-Lo. But now she's dead, so she doesn't have a better ass than anyone. Death is weird. I make a lot of jokes about it because it can make me uncomfortable sometimes. When you're in the hospital, death is really simple because it's just about love. But in the time leading up to the hospital, you don't know like when they're going to go into hospice or palliative care, and that can be really difficult because like my grandma's not an emotional person, so I don't want to like tell her that I love her and then have it be awkward for the next 10 months. And it comes up in these weird ways. Like I was staying with her for a week and she got a 6-pack of like Suave body wash delivered to her house from Amazon because they only sold it in a 6-pack. And so I'm putting away all 6 bottles of this body wash and she's looking at me and I'm looking at her and both of us are thinking the same thing, but neither one of us can say that this amount of body wash is crazy optimistic at this point. And you could tell she was thinking the same thing because as I was leaving after the week, she's like, "Now Claire, you can take a couple bottles of that." And I'm like, "Okay, Grandma, how are we feeling? Like, what's a couple? Like, should I take 3? Should I take 4? Turns out the right answer was 5 3/4. But before you feel bad for me, just remember there's now one less Trump supporter in Pennsylvania. So, whoa, are you cheering for my dead grandma? No, that's fine. After she passed, my cousin, who's so sweet and so kind, turned to me and was like, "Claire, we should have a day where we do all the things that Jamie loved." Jamie was her name. And I was like, "Okay, cute, but first can we have a day where we do all the things she would never let us do? You know, like turn on the air conditioner or like go get abortions." And I did one time have a lady come up to me after the show and say, "Claire, your grandmother would be rolling in her grave to hear these jokes." And I just want to say, like, I know my grandma, you don't. I know she would not be rolling in her grave because she was so, so very cremated. Thank you very much.